Brothers and sisters, please adjust your posture where you find more comfortable for your body. Keep your back straight. Relax your shoulders. Stop thinking about the past or worry for the future. Invest yourself in the present moment 100%. By realization, realize that you are breathing in and you are breathing out. Do not force yourself to breathe. You don't have to make any effort to breathe. Just let your breath normally breathe in and breathe out. And all you need to do is sit, relax, and enjoy every single breath you make, whether it's short or long. You also can keep your light smile to refresh yourself and to show your appreciation to your breath and to show that we appreciate the present moment and we realize that we are living in the present moment. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Breathing in, calming the body. Breathing out, smile. Good afternoon, my dear brothers, sisters. Welcome to our monthly mindfulness day. I hope that you do enjoy your day so far with relax, quiet, and peace. Mindfulness day means the day that we live fully with our awareness. We used to live with our habits, that we are always thinking and chasing one another. So mindfulness day means the day that we stop all the unnecessary things around us and help us to live deeply and we in touch. What are we doing in the present moment? Usually when we cook, we are thinking tomorrow. When we are making dinner, we are thinking about breakfast. When we are making breakfast and having breakfast, we are thinking about lunch. So we are not really, bringing ourselves to what are we doing in the present moment. That's why in Buddhist term we used to call samsara. Samsara means we are sunk ourselves down and turning us around with a cycle. Samsara means the cycle of reincarnation. But we think we will be reincarnated after we died. But actually, every day we can be reincarnated. For example, for this whole morning, or up to this moment, we don't lose ourselves anywhere. We enjoy the time here, even the weather outside is cold, but inside is warm and it's quiet. We're able to relax a day like this. So we are in the realm of heaven. Heaven is where? Heaven is when able to in touch. So what is the realm here in Buddhist definition? It means like the condition of life, which sentient beings are subject to, and which they experience from moment to moment. When I'm happy here, I walk downstairs, I realize I lost my shoes, my very expensive one. I'm so upset. So right in that moment, from heaven, I drop down to anger. So the realm of angry, the realm of hell. So if we are not mindful, we will be, turning around in the realm of reincarnation. What are the 6 realms of reincarnation? Hell, actually heaven. Ashura. Ashura means the realm of anger. Humanity. Hell. Hunger. And animality. So we may, drop up, down and up in these 6 desire realms. Because from heaven, Ashura, human, hell, hunger, and animality. These 6 realms, the root, the foundation of these are desires. We always have a lot of negative desires. That's why we never in touch what is called peace and happiness. We always want gain peace. We always want happiness. But maybe those words only become the idea, the wish, but we do not know how to turn them into reality. And with this mindful practice, we want to turn this into and make the word peace become really peace. For instance, this morning, the ladies try their best to cook for us. They put all their love, their attention to make all the dishes. Are they tasty? But the question for us is, are we there to enjoy the food that they make for us? So the quiet time that we eat is the time to show our loving kindness. You are kind enough to cook for us, and we will kind enough to enjoy your food. We are supporting each other. We are trying to make the situation become heaven. So the one who cook, they live in heaven because they live in peace. That's why they can cook good food for us. But we live in anger. That's why we don't taste that food. So it doesn't match. So the one who bring heaven to us by their cooking, and we need to bring heaven of enjoy their food. And we are supporting each other. And love is there. Love is there. They don't have to declare, I cook for you because I love you. They know that we are coming here for a day of practice. So they take their time, their effort to cook. Silently, gently, they express their love. And we just walk quietly downstairs. We take the food and we sit down, keep quiet and enjoy. They will look at the dishes and they know that whether we enjoy or not. Because we finish them all. Or we can come back for the second round. So sometimes happiness is something very simple. We don't have to say anything, just turn our love into the action. Turn our love into the way of living. And now the word is not an idea anymore, an ideal anymore, but it's become the real. And this is the power of mindfulness. And this is the result of mindfulness. This is the fruit of our practice. There is a lady who called me and asked, Thầy, can I sit down with my husband and I want to talk with him about my practice? Because he does not practice, that's why I'm so sad. I want to tell him from now on I'm practicing, so don't ever bother me anymore. I said, why you need to declare? Practice Buddhism is something very simple, very gentle. Just live, just change yourself, transform yourself. The way you behave, the way you act, the way you talk, he can feel it. And the best way to explain is we live. The best way to introduce Buddhism is live according to what you learn. So the 6 rhymes that the Buddha mentioned is not only the ideal where we cannot touch. We can see the rhyme of heaven, the rhyme of anger, the rhyme of hunger, the rhyme of human, the rhyme of animal, right in our daily life. And because we understand that, that's why when there are many negative stories come to us, we're able to listen carefully or read carefully and reflect carefully. And we can see where are they in the rhyme, what rhyme that they are falling in. Some father, they do not know how to love their daughter, their wife. That's why they abuse by many ways. So they carry the human's body, but their emotion, their desires are not human. They are the desire of hell, of hunger. They hunger for sex, for fame, for wealth, in many ways. And that's why you can see that sometimes people always create suffering to the others. Why? Because they live in that rhyme. And they have no other rhyme. So that's why they in touch with the condition. So the rhyme here, or even heaven or hell or anger, those are all what we call the experience. Yesterday there was a lady who asked me, Thầy, show me your nirvana, teach me your nirvana. And what is your nirvana? Nirvana. The word nirvana is the combination word of the two meaning. Na means no. Vana means desires. So when you have no desires, no negative desires, you are in peace. So nirvana is not a place. Nirvana is your practice. You're in touch. You're feeling. I feel peace. I feel happy. I feel calm. And that is the explanation of the word nirvana. We all have the habit of wanting something. Oh, I want this, I want that. You know, it's normal. But if something we want is not necessary and it's not, we are unable to afford, and we do not, you know, over-desire, and you stop. You stop what? You stop living in the cycle of reincarnation. You know where you are, and you make your rhyme, and you can transform your rhyme. Maybe 10 minutes ago, I live in the rhyme of anger or hunger. I am hunger for wealth, for fame, for sex. But I know how to reflect. No, I cannot do this. This will damage my life. This will destroy my future. This will damage my family. This will destroy my children. This will destroy my relationship. And if we stop right on time, we in nirvana. Because with the word nir means no. The absence of negatives. When we all have hate, ignorance, and greed. But the practice here is we know how to taming and manage our hate, our anger, our greed, our ignorance. We also have the positive desires. For example, I desire to help others. I'm willing to help. But that is your loving kindness. But the practice here is not only loving kindness, but you also have understanding. You know what is this? Is this person really need your help? Or they just want to take advantage? They want to take advantage on you. They can do it, but why don't they do it? So when they come and say, can you do this for me? And you know that they have time to do it. They have capacity to do it. But you have to learn to say no. No doesn't mean you are selfish. You are cold. You are unkind. But no in order to inform, you know who they are. And you know who are you. You help people, but you don't lose yourself. You don't lose yourself that you know nothing. I know everything. But why I still doing something for you? Because I want to show you the way to practice. But after a few times or many times, I feel that you did not recognize what I try to share with you, what I try to teach you. Then now this is another way to teach you that do not take advantage on another. Then the answer here is no, and this is the result. In Buddhism, what we call negative response, in order to help that person to transform. There was a man who came to me and he complained another person. He said, Thầy, can you please talk to that person because she is not kind enough. She yelled at me in front of others. I'm so upset because she did not, respect me. She made me lose face in front of everybody. And I asked him, why she yelled at you in front of many people? And he said, oh, because during that day, there was a man who sang. And I laughed. I laughed at his sings. I laughed at his voice. And I make many people in the room laugh along with me. I said, and then that lady is right. When you laugh at someone, when they sing, why don't you think about their face? Why don't you think about their emotional? Why don't you think about their feeling? You laugh in front of everybody about his voice. Then now, this lady, she used the same technique to show you, to tell you what is called, respect and losing face. Do you get the idea what I said? This is what Buddhism calls negative response. We respond negatively, not because we are not unkind. But in this situation, this person needs to learn the lecture. When you go to the Vietnamese temple, you used to see there is a two altar at the end of the hall, the Buddha hall. The two Dharma protector. One look very kind, very gentleman, but one look very mean, very evil. His fire face, his long teeth, his long tongue look very ugly, very mean, very scary. But inside of that type of scary person is a very kind heart. Because that one is the one who help, the one who have a negative thinking, negative act, but they don't care anyone. They do know that's wrong, but they're still doing it. Just because, they live without caring for anyone. As long as, they take advantage. Oh, it's ready there. Why I need to do it? That's not correct. So if those who live in the other rank, we need to, help them to move up from anger to heaven, or from hell to heaven, or from animality into heaven. Living together is helping each other to move on, not to bring other to move back or falling back. And this is the purpose of living together. As a husband and wife, we do not just come to each other just because of love, a sensual love. But we have a good intent to help each other to move on in life. Because life is a long way of traveling. And each of us, we have a long journey to go. And sometimes we're so tired, we almost give up. But that person come and comfort us. They can help sit down and massage for us. Or they can, walk beside us, hold our hand and slowly walk together. And this is the beautiful of life. This is the beautiful of being together. So if someone, they get married, they need to understand this. You are looking for another person, what you call your other half. And you know, that other half never match. If you don't try to make them, look similar. We need to influence each other by the positive way. We have together 10 rhymes. So the 6 lower, which I just mentioned, and now are the 4 higher rhymes. What are the 4? Learning, realization, bodhisattva, and Buddhahood. Learning means we need to listen. We need to listen carefully to reflect, to meditate on in order to understand something. From there, we practice and we move on. The second rhyme, that somebody, they don't have a chance to learn, but their intent is very strong. They can look at something and they can see, they can reflect, they can meditate, or they can see the results. This realization level is higher than learning. The one, let's say us, we know nothing. We need to learn slowly and slowly. But somebody, they don't need to listen, they don't need to learn. They look at it, they know how to do it. Like if you don't know how to cook, you need to YouTube. You need to Google and see how's the cooking. But if you have a talent of cooking, when somebody cook, you just need to look at the ingredient and the taste, and you know what's in there. And this is what we call realization. And the Buddha is one of that. He doesn't have any teacher, but he found out the truth of life. So we call him self-awakening. And because we are self-awakening, that's why we know. If we're doing this, we're saying this, we'll hurt that person. We know exactly, then we don't have to try. Then because we're doing that, that's why, the loving kindness in us, it grows up each day. You move yourself from realization into bodhisattva. Bodhisattva means the awakened being, the one who understands deeply, and they have a very great heart. They want to bring their help to many others. But when they help, no complaint. No complaint and no, counting. Their help is countless. There are 4 things that we can take with us in order to embrace someone who is not kind enough. What we call loving kindness, compassion. Loving kindness means we give them joy and happiness, and we try to relieve the suffering out of them. So when you offer somebody a happy thing, that in the same way you try to take that out from that person, the suffering out of that person. And when you do it, you must do it with joy. And where is your joy come from? When you can see someone who is smile. The more you help them, the more you gain your joy, because you can see people benefit from your help. So joy is from where? From the time you help others. There was a lady far from Vietnam. One day she called me and she said, Thầy, I just want to express my thanks to you because you helped me a lot while I feel very lost. Because I found that I have a broken family. My husband is not honest with me. He is not honest with me. He's cheating on me. So when I found that, I totally collapsed and I realized that I cannot continue my life. One day I stopped at the temple. There was a young monk who around 20 something. He met me and I don't know why I expressed all my suffering to him. And he told me, go to YouTube looking for Thích Pháp Hoa's Dhamma talk. And some of your talk helped me. And now I come back, I live happy again. I can forgive my husband. I can accept him and I can, help him to transform. And when I heard that, what is that? That is joy, because I'm able to, I don't know when I give a talk, I don't know this talk will help for how many. But luckily that helped one person, two people, or so on. So we will say, where can I have some joy? Where? When you're able to see people happy. Your joy is there. There was a hunger boy or girl. You're able to give him a piece of bread. And look at the way he eats. You're so happy enough. So when you help people, that is your joy. Your joy is when you're able to continue your helping. But of course, we are kind, but we are not silly. This is what we call compassion and understanding. We should understand when to help and when not to help. Sometimes that person needs to fall down in order to understand what is called hurting by falling. And that person will learn how to stand up. For example, you are training a baby when they start to walk. Sometimes you need to let him go. Let his hand free. He walked maybe 3-4 steps, he fell. But now, let the baby stand up by himself. When I learned riding bicycle, in Vietnam, I do not know how to ride bicycle. So when I came to Canada, my father's friend, he gave me and my brother 2 bicycles. And my brother, he take a month to learn. He fall and he stand up and, take a month. So after I realized that he know how to ride a bicycle, I asked my younger brother to teach me how to ride a bicycle. And he said, okay, I will bring you and teach you how to ride a bicycle. He bring me up to a hill, not too high, just, slide hill. He pushed me like that. In the moment, he never teach me how to ride. He just pushed me down to the hill. In the minute you almost die, you will die. What do you do to survive? So I will put my foot into the ride and I ride down the hill. I know how to ride bicycle after that minute. So when you're facing, the dangerous moments, nothing else in your head, just how to help yourself. And my life, I have 2 special experiences like that. If you have a chance to go to Vietnam and you will realize and you experience what we call cầu khỉ. It's a very Yeah, it's a bridge with only one bamboo tree. One bamboo, and on the bridge there's nothing else. And you have to walk very carefully on that bridge. And I'm really afraid of that bridge when I go to countryside. Long time ago, maybe 30 years ago, or more than 30 years ago, we are unable to freely to go to temple because the government does not allow us to go to churches, to go to temple. So one day, I go to the temple and we are doing the praying. Somebody jump in and say, the police is coming. So we all try to run away from the police. Suddenly I have to facing, the place where we need to run over the bridge. But when normally I don't know how to walk on that bridge. But by that time, I can run on that bridge easily. Because at that time, what is in my head? I don't want to be caught by the police. So in that moment, I know how to walk on that bridge, that special bridge. So you never think you will fall, but in the moment you fall, you have to do everything in your power at that moment in order to survive, to help yourself to survive. And sometimes we need to help a person in that way, or even us. We try many ways and it doesn't work. And now it's time for us to what we call negative response. So this is the way. In Vietnam, when we go to school, very strict. Sometimes the teacher asks us to memorize a poem, memorize by heart. And the teacher will call us to stand in front of the class and read the poem by heart. If you cannot memorize it, what is your punishment? You have to put your hand out, and she will use a ruler, slap on your hand. And because of that, you are afraid of that hurting. That's why you will try your best to memorize whatever your teacher assigned. When we are doing writing, the teacher will walk around us, and if we do not write it correctly, they will use a ruler and just slap on our fingers. And because of that, that's why most of the Vietnamese students, they have a nice handwriting. And I have learned that from my grade 7 teacher in Edmonton too. When I came to Canada, I learned English and I learned how to write alphabets. And I just print the word. I don't know how to do handwriting. And every time when we hand in homework, by printing like that, my teacher will throw them in the garbage. She never read it. We lose the mark. So if we want the teacher to read our homework, to read our assignments, we need to do in handwriting. And because of that, we all know how to do handwriting. And we have a nice, handwriting. Whenever I think of that teacher, I really, appreciate and deep gratitude to her. She's a good English teacher. Not only in the book, but every single thing she sees around, she always gives us the name of it. She does not only follow only the book, but she also, using many examples from outside in order to help us to learn. Within a year, we all know a little bit English. We all have a nice handwriting. And without her, we're not there. I have a student here. Now he is 40. We attend school at the same time. Every morning when he dressed up for school, His father always sit in the living room because he give him a ride to school. But every day, if he did not, put his clothes on properly, his father will say no, and he will never bring him to school. So that's why he never dare to wear something not properly to school. Because that is how the way they teach the children. Very mean. Now he turned 40, and one day he came to me and he said, Thầy, you know what? When I was young, I always blaming my father. He's always picking on me. He's so hard with me. And I think he does not love me. But now I turn like this. I need to thank him. Sometimes we in a very hard training course or person. We disagree. But on the other way, this is what we call meditation. Meditation means you reflect and see, maybe this is the way to help you better. Do not expect, all the good conditions will come. And myself, I sometimes have this kind of training. That's why I'm here now. I have almost 20 hours learn how to drive. Usually people have 10 hours, 16 hours. Myself, 20 hours. I have 3 times for the road test and I fell. So when I meet this Vietnamese teacher, he's so mean with me. But because of him, I know how to drive. My Dharma name Hoa. Hoa means, harmony, peace. But because I'm so scary, I stare my eyes and I drive so hard. He said, your name is Hoa, mean peace, but your face doesn't look any peace. And some of my friends who give up, they stop on the street and they get off the car and they said, I give up, I cannot learn with you anymore. He's a driving teacher. He's so mean and so hard. But I like his way because he has a very high experience and talent. So when you have some teacher or someone who trains you something very strictly, instead of angry, but we should take that as a lesson. That is the negative response. So according to your questions, you want to know little bit more about the 6 rhymes. Heaven, Ashura, another word anger, human, hell, hunger, animality. So these 6 rhymes we already can experience. If you can see someone who always live in anger, they don't have even an hour of happiness or peace, always angry. They easily get angry. They easily, boiling their hot temper. So they are living in the rhyme of anger. And because they live in that rhyme, they're in touch with that. They live in that condition, of course, in their heart, in their words, in their behavior. There is nothing called nice or kind or, calm. Always something along with the anger. We understand that. So that's why sometimes we need to have a mirror. When we get angry, we want to see how do we look. We come to the mirror and we know, now I live in the rhyme of Ashura. Ashura means the rhyme of anger. When we live without any morality, This is the rhyme of animal. We need to have the morality. No matter what we believe. When we go to school, we have the rules in school. Anywhere we go, anywhere we live, there are rules. In Bhutan, Bhutan is the country that have no traffic lights. They don't have any traffic light in Bhutan. But very less accident. Why? Because the morality signs along the street, along the highway, maybe every 50 meters, you see a sign contain lot of morality teachings. For example, this is one of the signs that I remember. Life is too short. Don't make it shorter. Is that beautiful? Is that a lecture? Is that a morality? They don't need to say 20 kilometers, 30 kilometers, but along the highway, from this city to another city, many signs like that. Then you know, when you drive and you read those signs and they wake you up. They wake you up. I remember there is a sign like this. Slowly, then go home. Rushing cannot go back home. Because if you drive carefully, you can go home on time. But if you're in a rush, you drive careless, then you got into an accident and you may die. You never have a chance to go home. So no traffic lights, but those signs become traffic lights. So rules sometimes, just to prevent something. But if everybody know how to practice the morality, then we don't need any rules. Because in ourselves, each of us, we already ruling ourselves. We already have self-morality. This is the beautiful of the practice. For example, if we walk into the meditation hall, we all know that we should keep quiet. Walk slowly. Then we don't need to put the sign, please keep quiet, please walk silently. We all know. So when you walk into this area, automatically we adjust our speed. We adjust our volume. So we need to turn. We practice in such a way that we can turn a place where, sometimes no need of the traffic light. But each of us, we already have a traffic light. When to stop, when to yield, and when to go. Because each of us, we already have the traffic light for ourselves. When you know that you are now turned 50, that means your traffic light turned yellow more than green. And what happened? We should wear, put clothes more carefully in the winter time. We should care more carefully when we walk in the snow. Because our health is not as 30 or 40. One day I gave a ride for Devin back to home from school. And I used to touch them, whether to check them to see do they wear warm clothes or not. And that just a few days ago, I realized he did not wear warm enough. I said, why don't you wear your thermal? Don't you have enough? Do you need more? He said, no, Thầy, I have enough. Just because I put them in the box, I'm lazy to bring them out. And I told him, you know what? When I was young like you, I always thinking the same as you. And that is why now Thầy is not well, even I'm not that old. You have to see me in order to learn the lecture of not know how to take care of yourself. So we always, each of us, we have the traffic light. Are we green, yellow, or are we almost red? If we do not know how to take good care, then the red light can come to us sooner. Of course, one day we will come to that end. But if we know how to keep it, it may be longer. That's it. And this is the purpose of practicing mindfulness. This is the purpose of practicing meditation. Meditation means to stop wandering and live deeply in the present moment. We wander too much. That's why nothing can be finished. But if you stop and focus to one thing, that thing can finish completely. And if we live like that, we don't need to give any definition what is Buddhism, what is meditation. But that already gives the idea, the meaning of Buddhism or meditation. Every day we need to be aware what kind of rhymes that we are reborn in. If we are not mindful enough, we just in the cycle of 6 rhymes all day long. So again, the rhymes here mean the condition of life, which are we subject to, that we are experienced from moment to moment. A mindful practice, you know what is your feeling, what is your emotional. Yesterday there was a young friend who come and meditate, and he quickly need to leave, and before he leave he asked me a question. Thầy, how can I overcome my emotional? How can I help my emotional? I said, first you need to know what kind of emotional are you. It's like your baby. It's like your children. You know who are they in order to give them the right teaching. You need to name them correctly. You cannot mix up all your children's names. You need, if you have 10 kids, you need to remember all of their 10 names. You need to call them correctly in order to ask them to do something for you. Same thing, we need to name every single emotional arise in us. I'm not happy now. And once you know you're not happy now, that means you know how to take care for you and try to taming that, not to let that become your controller, and you will make people around you not happy along with that emotional. And that is not worth. We almost come to the end of the year. And what is the word year end mean to us? It means we have time to review, to reflect how we have lived in the past 12 months. What is the new year to us? Is that something special? No, we still continue to live. But is this a chance for us to declare we have stopped a period of unmindful living. Now it's time to start a mindful living. That's it. Actually, to the eyes of Buddhism, to the practice of Buddhism, there's nothing called New Year and there's nothing called year end. Every day is the same. Just because New Year we eat food more special. And what happened to the year end also special. But making good food just to satisfy this physical body. Creating good living, good way of living, to make your spiritual, your mind more happy, more healthy. There's nothing wrong to make good food for the body, but we also need good food for the mind. And this is the meaning of celebration, year-end celebration and welcoming the New Year's ceremony. Two ceremonies close together. At the end we celebrate. At the beginning we celebrate. And what is the purpose of celebration? Is that something to remind us? We have stopped the period of unmindful. It's now time for us to start a new term of mindfulness. Thank you for your listening and your questions. And I accord, according to all your questions, I combine them together as a talk. Hope that at least it's help you a little bit in your daily practice. Thank you for your coming and joining the day with us.